The Daily Code Snippet. Border radius is also used to create elliptical shapes with CSS3. This is done by using different values for the horizontal and vertical parts of the rounded corners. When writing the distances out, the 4 horizontal values are placed before 4 vertical values. Let's look at some examples. Here is the HTML we are working with. We will be creating different elliptical shapes using CSS3. Here's the base CSS for the shapes. In this case, we have a 200 pixel square with some margin and padding added to create space for the text within and between shapes. We have a light blue background and are floating the shapes so they display next to one another. In this example, the horizontal and vertical values are different. We again need to use the prefix moz for Mozilla Firefox and WebKit for Apple Safari. This is for cross-browser compatibility. This is how the code looks for our example. The shape is the first one on the upper row. In the next example, the radius is taller than it is wide. Although the horizontal and vertical values differ, they are the same for all 4 corners. The resulting shape is more uniform than the previous shape. You can create a circle by taking a square box and making the border radius the same height as the square. Since our square is 200 pixels by 200 pixels, we are making the border radius 200 pixels. The result is the circle, the last shape on the upper row. And finally, you can also just target one corner. Here is the CSS targeting our shapes. We used the visibility hidden to hide the 4th shape and leave a space so that the examples of one corner being targeted are all together on the bottom row. Making circles and elliptical shapes was new with CSS3. Once it was possible, it began to be used as a feature. A common way you see circles used in websites today is in a staff section. Rather than presenting the images of people as square or rectangular portraits, it became trendy to show their headshots in a circle. We go over how to do this using the border radius property. We created a sample page and blocked out a section for staff. In that section, the HTML shows several image elements. We are drawing in the same silhouette image into each of our circles for demonstration purposes. For the CSS, we can target the image elements in section 5 using its ID attribute. Hashtag section 5 image. Each shape has the same width and height to make a square. The border radius is set to the same height to make a circle. We use a float to make the images sit side by side into 2 rows at this browser width. If you were to scale the browser, the images would move accordingly. The margin and padding are added to give space. The code will display like this. So now you too can incorporate this into your websites. Presented by Designers Learn Code.